My God, it's so bad. It's not as bad as Star Wars. I'll give you that, DCEU fans. It's not as bad as the sequel trilogy. I'll give you that much. But the DCEU is so ass backwards right now. What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video. And today is the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I had a great Christmas. I spent the day with my family when I wasn't doing videos, because you saw my videos yesterday, but spent the day with the family, had a great day, and I saw two movies. I saw Bumblebee and I saw Aquaman. I'm going to talk about Aquaman in this video. Just going to give a few thoughts, and then I'm going to go deeper into more things about Aquaman and how it pertains to other movies. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm just going to say I loved Aquaman. Aquaman was awesome. Momoa is a megastar. The special effects were solid. The story was solid. Acting was as good as you can expect from a superhero movie. Supporting cast was good. It had a lot of heart. It had a lot of emotion. It had payoffs. I had a lot of fun with the movie. I thought it was great. It's my second favorite DCEU movie to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is my favorite DCEU movie, and this one's pretty damn close. I mean, this was a really good movie. Jason Momoa, I mean, the guy is just going to be a megastar, and he already is kind of almost there. He's a man's man. He's got charisma, and he was perfect for the role of Arthur Curry. The movie was awesome. But here's the bigger thing going on right now, because Aquaman actually pissed me off. It really pissed me off because of how good it was, and why can't the DCEU get their crap together? Aquaman is awesome. Wonder Woman was awesome. You already have the two biggest icons in comic book history with Batman and Superman. All you had to do was get those two characters right. And you have nailed it with Aquaman, and you've nailed it with Wonder Woman. You could have done this the right way. But you were so focused on not being Marvel that you screwed this entire thing up. How did we have a movie with Batman and Superman, this version of Wonder Woman and this version of Aquaman, yet Justice League turned out to be a total bomb? How the hell did we get to that point? Because they were so concerned with not being Marvel. So instead of us watching the Justice League with established characters within the universe, you shoehorn them into a stupid Justice League movie where the tone was all over the place. You had Zack Snyder's characters that I was not a fan of, and then you have Joss Whedon directing it, which is a complete shift in tone and everything. And it was just a disaster. Where if you would have just been patient, first of all, once Man of Steel happened, and I know there are people that are going to defend Man of Steel, and that's totally fine. Man of Steel sucked. Man of Steel was not a good Superman movie. It just was not. It was a good movie about an alien coming to Earth. It was not a good Superman movie. Superman is not going to stand there and watch his dad die. Superman is not going to make out at ground zero with some woman he has no chemistry with while there are people dying literally feet from him in collapsed buildings after the fight with he and Zod. Superman is not going to destroy multi-million-dollar government equipment just to get their attention. That's not Superman. It wasn't Superman. Henry Cavill could have made a great Superman. But you had Man of Steel. You should have seen the moment Man of Steel happened. The box office returns weren't terrible, but it definitely didn't perform as good as it should have been. And at that point, you should have been like, all right, we have to change tone right now. But you're stuck with Snyder. I know there are Snyder fans out there. That's fine. But then you got Batman v Superman, which again, you blew your load on that. I have no idea what you were thinking with that. And then you blew your load with Justice League. Before we even had a solo Wonder Woman movie, before we even had a solo Batman movie, before we even had a solo Aquaman movie, you blew your load with the Justice League. Disaster. But all you had to do, get Superman right, which isn't that hard. Get Batman right, which isn't that hard. You've done a phenomenal job of establishing Wonder Woman. You've done a great job of establishing Aquaman. Could you imagine having Batman and Superman done right with Wonder Woman that's already been established now and this version of Aquaman? And then could you imagine the amazing feel it would have to see this Justice League come together? Oh my God. And then you can have the death of Superman when there's emotional stakes involved within the Justice League where they actually know Superman and they actually care for him. And then you could do a funeral for a friend and all of that emotional stuff from the comics. But instead, you're so focused on not being Marvel, and now you pretty much are Marvel. The DCEU is such a goddamn disaster. It's such a disaster. There are like needles in a haystack with movies like Wonder Woman and Aquaman. It's like needle in a haystack. It's like a diamond in the rough. You know, like you have these amazing stories with these amazing developed characters that you've told and established and made us care about. But it's all centered around this garbage ass Batman and Superman that you've given us. It's just, it's unbelievable to me that they can do so well with these lesser known, lesser tier characters. And I don't mean that like in a bad way, because I understand Wonder Woman is an icon. And I understand Aquaman has a following. But they're not Batman and they're not Superman. You've nailed it with the lesser known characters of the established characters you have, and you've screwed it up completely with the ones that everybody knows. And it blows my mind. So now you're back to being Marvel now. Like, Aquaman felt like a Marvel movie for the most part. You know, definitely a little darker in tone, you know what I mean? And a little more broisms from, Jason Momoa with some of the terminology he uses, which is fine. I was a little worried about that, just like in Justice League, where he's like, my man, you know? And I was like, I hope there's not too much of that in Aquaman, but there wasn't. I mean, there was, but it works because it's Jason Momoa. You know what I'm saying? It works. But here, the DCEU is my problem, because you could have done this so much better. You have such a great lineup. You have a great cast. You have established these characters so well, the ones that are lesser known, but you've screwed it up so bad. How can they move forward from here? I think they can, but it's going to be hard because, hell, every other day we hear a different story from Ben Affleck about, well, he's going to direct and star in the Batman movie, and he's going to write it. Okay, well, he's not going to direct it, but he's still going to write it and star in it. Okay, he's not going to write it. Okay, he's not even going to star in it. Oh, like, what? It's so bad. And then we're going to get a Man of Steel sequel. No, we're not going to get a Man of Steel sequel. It's a disaster. But you have potential there because Wonder Woman and Aquaman are both fantastic. And another thing, just so I can take a little shot at Lucasfilm, Aquaman actually went through training. Yeah, Aquaman actually went through training, Lucasfilm. Just want you to put that one in your memory bank for the future. Aquaman actually went through training. Remember that one. Moving forward, it's very depressing to me. At the same time, it's like a double-edged sword because I'm so happy with Wonder Woman and with Aquaman, but I'm so upset because we could have gotten such an amazing Justice League with these characters that they're developing, but they've screwed it up so bad. So that's where I'm at with it. Aquaman was awesome. Go see Aquaman. Go see it right now. It is amazing. I think it just cleared $500 million at the box office. Do I think it's going to hit $1 billion? I don't know if it'll hit $1 billion, but it's definitely going to be up there with Wonder Woman and Batman v Superman, which, again, Batman v Superman didn't even clear $1 billion. On what planet does Batman and Superman have their first movie together on screen, and you can't even break $900 million? What planet does that happen? A planet where the DCEU is a complete disaster. It's so disjointed. So I know this is going to piss some people off. That's life. That's how I feel. The numbers support everything I say. This entire universe is so ass backwards right now, and it could have been different if Warner Brothers would have not been so focused on not being Marvel and just done what was right. Establish these characters, honor these characters, and then bring them all together for the Justice League. But you killed Superman. You killed Superman before you even had the Justice League. You give me a crap Batman after coming off the best run Batman's ever had. You give this garbage ass Affleck Batman, and I love Ben Affleck as an actor and as a director, but he was not a good Batman. He just wasn't. I'm sorry. The best points of Affleck's Batman were done by a stunt double. That's where facts don't care about your feelings. It was a stunt double. Your little warehouse scene, that wasn't Ben Affleck. Not a goddamn thing of that was Ben Affleck. That was his stunt double. All the cool shit that Batfleck did was not Ben Affleck. Sorry to burst your bubble, but there you go. There's a red pill for you. Every time you tell me Ben Affleck was a great Batman, you're basically telling me his stunt double was a great Batman. That's what you're telling me right there. Because Ben Affleck didn't do anything but just walk around with that voice modulator. Look, at least Christian Bale was actually doing the voice. As much as you want to hate on it, at least Bale was actually doing it. My God. Oh my God, that voice from Ben Affleck. Stop it. Stop it. And then Henry Cavill, the whole thing with Justice League, I mean, that was the best interpretation of Superman we've gotten in the DCEU. But the whole mustache thing and the face, my God, it's so bad. It's not as bad as Star Wars. I'll give you that, DCEU fans. It's not as bad as the sequel trilogy. I'll give you that much. But the DCEU is so ass backwards right now. Shout out to Wonder Woman. Shout out to Patty Jenkins. Shout out to James Wan. Shout out to Gal Gadot. And Jason Momoa, fantastic job in these two movies. And unfortunately, we've gotten a Batman and a Superman that are total shit shows and don't even represent the character properly. Go ahead and let me have it in the comments. I know I'm waiting for it, and I can take it. I can take it. I am more like Zack Snyder and less like Rian Johnson, although I will respond unlike Zack Snyder. He won't respond. Zack Snyder's just like, yo, man, I'm a cool dude. I'm whatever, man. And Zack Snyder is a cool dude. I love Zack Snyder. He's like, as a human being, I love Zack Snyder. And I loved Watchmen. I loved Dawn of the Dead. I appreciate 300. And I like him as a human being. He is a genuinely awesome human being. His DCEU just sucks. And that's all there is to it. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.